Bobby Fischer, the chess genius who challenged the world. Bobby Fischer was a chess genius who challenged the Soviet Empire and won the world title with his talent and character. His life was a mixture of glory and tragedy, light and darkness, passion and madness. He was born in Chicago in 1943, the son of a Jewish nurse and a Hungarian physicist who never acknowledged his paternity. He learned to play chess at the age of 6, reading the instructions on a board he was given. He soon became a prodigy, winning the United States Championship at age 14 and the International Grandmaster title at age 15. Bobby Fischer took the Stanford-Binet IQ test in 1958, when he was 15 years old. The test was performed by a psychologist named Dr. Joseph D. Kramarz, who worked for the New York Department of Education. Dr. Kramarz administered the test to Fischer in his office after the young chess prodigy was recommended by his mathematics teacher, who had noticed his extraordinary ability to solve logical and abstract problems. The result of the test was surprising. Fischer obtained a score of 180 to 187, which placed him at the genius level and in the top 0.1% of the world's population. However, keep in mind that IQ scales have changed over time, and Fischer's score on current tests would be lower. By some estimates, Bobby Fischer's IQ on the 5th edition of the Stanford-Binet test would be between 148 and 155, and on the WISC-V WAIS-IV tests administered by Mensa it would be between 150 and 160. So high? His playing style was aggressive, creative, and original. He was not satisfied with the classic openings, but rather looked for new variants and surprised his rivals with spectacular sacrifices. His memory was prodigious, capable of remembering thousands of games and analyzing them in his mind. His ambition was limitless. He wanted to be the best player in history and defeat all the Soviet grandmasters, who had dominated world chess for decades. In 1972, he achieved his dream of playing in the World Championship against the reigning champion, Boris Spassky, in Reykjavik, Iceland. The duel was known as the match of the century, as it symbolized the rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union in the middle of the Cold War. Fischer presented himself as a rebel, demanding special conditions for playing and threatening to leave the tournament several times. His behavior was erratic, paranoid and eccentric, but also brilliant. After losing the first game and not showing up for the second, Fischer came back to win the title by 12.5 to 8.5 points. Fischer became a global celebrity, admired for his intelligence and personality. However, he also showed himself to be a conflictive, antisocial, and anti-Semitic man, despite being Jewish. He refused to defend his title in 1975 against Anatoly Karpov, for not accepting the rules of the FIDE International Chess Federation. He thus lost his crown without playing and retired from professional chess. For almost 20 years, Fischer lived isolated from the world, dedicated to the study of chess. In 1992, he reappeared to play a rematch against Spassky in Yugoslavia, a country sanctioned by the UN for the Balkan conflict. Fischer won the match, but he also earned the enmity of the United States government, which accused him of violating the embargo and ordered his arrest. Fischer fled to Eastern Europe, where he lived as a fugitive for several years. In 2004, he was detained in Japan for attempting to travel with an expired passport. He spent 9 months in prison, until Iceland granted him citizenship and allowed him to settle in Reykjavik. There he lived his last years with his wife Miyako Watai, a Japanese chess player who accompanied him until her death in 2008 from kidney failure. Bobby Fischer was a contradictory man, admired and hated, loved and feared. He was a chess artist who created masterpieces on the board. He was a world champion who renounced his throne. he was a genius bordering on madness. It was Bobby Fischer. It is said that Bobby Fischer had Asperger's syndrome, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. The syndrome in question is a neurodevelopmental disorder that is characterized by difficulties in communication and social interaction, restricted and repetitive behavior patterns, and a high capacity for attention to details. Some of the symptoms that could indicate this condition are, their reaction to unstructured environments, such as optionally running away from cameras, not showing up to games. Your ability to function in structured environments, such as interviews or the chessboard. Your inability to understand the feelings of others or express your own. His intense fascination with an activity, in his case chess, to which he dedicated hours of study and analysis. It was his life. His lack of empathy with his peers or with other cultures. His poor social skills and his tendency to isolate himself. His failure to develop lasting friendships or intimate relationships. However, Asperger syndrome can also bestow unique gifts, such as superior intelligence, a prodigious memory, original creativity, and admirable persistence. These qualities made Bobby Fischer a chess artist who created masterpieces on the board. Bobby Fischer was a chess genius who left many famous phrases that reflect his personality, his vision of the game and his way of thinking. Some of Bobby Fischer's best quotes are, "Chess is a war on a board. The objective is to crush the opponent's mind. I don't believe in psychology, I believe in good plays. I object to being called a chess genius. I consider myself a genius in general who happens to play chess. It's very different. Look at Kasparov, he is a chess genius. Off the board, however, he is an idiot. You have to have a fighting spirit. You have to force plays and take risks. I'm not a chess genius, I'm a chess-playing genius. I like the moment when I break a man's ego. Anyone who understands chess knows that, except for the title, I am the champion in everything. I have been the best for a long time. Chess demands total concentration and love for the game. I am a detestable individual. My ideals are chess and money. I want to be very rich. Everyone wants to be, but no one says it. Is it a sin? Bobby Fischer was a chess genius, a world champion who challenged the Soviet Empire and who captivated the world with his talent and personality. His life was marked by passion, controversy, exile, and loneliness. His legacy is immense, not only for chess, but for culture and history. His name is synonymous with excellence, creativity, rebellion, and mystery. Bobby Fischer died in Iceland, the country that welcomed him when no one else did, the country that saw him succeed and that bid him farewell with honors. His grave is in Selfoss, a small town near Reykjavik, where his remains rest next to a chessboard. His epitaph reads, "Here lies the world chess champion Robert James Fischer." But his spirit remains alive in every game, in every play, in every fan who admires his work and dreams of emulating him. Bobby Fischer has not died, he has just retired to play an eternal game.